What's up, Dragons? Hermes here. So today, we have another creepypasta to do from Plant. This is my friends and I broke into an abandoned school. So, I'm gonna put out more out. Do not break into abandoned buildings. It is not okay. Don't do it. You're gonna get in trouble. If you guys want me to react to more creepypastas from Plant, leave a comment down below of what I should react to. Also, check out the playlist. I'll put it on the top right of the screen, somewhere around here. And yeah, also subscribe if you're new, if you haven't yet. And turn on notifications because you never know when I do a reaction video just like this one. This one is 12 minutes long and 24 seconds, so this could be a good one. I don't know what this has to hold, but I always say, do not break into abandoned buildings, even a school. So, let's get into this. Bam!
My group of friends in high school are not what some would call the best and brightest. We tend to get ourselves into a lot of mischief.
It's just like me and my friends. Back in high school, we had this big group called the Spartans, and I was always the smallest of the group because I was small, I was shy, I was autistic back then, so I didn't know much, but I always have my friends backing me up. And there were some good times. We did get in trouble a lot, so that was not good, but God, I miss the old days now. I feel old.
Four of us all grew up together in one of the more poverty-stricken neighborhoods of our city. There was Jake, always the schemer. It seemed like he'd spend all day, every day, just cooking up these ideas for us to do. Nate was the quietest of our little group.
Just like me.
He was smaller than all of us, and we gave him a ton of grief for it.
He's just like me. I'm the smallest in the group. I'm always the quietest one, but sometimes I talk up like a goddamn storm. But I can always sometimes do things by myself now. Now that I'm 20 years old, I can't pretty much do anything by myself. Sure, I always have my friends backing me up, but now I can just do things by myself alone. So yeah, it's just crazy how much time has passed since back in 9th grade. It's a lot different now.
However, what he lacked in demeanor, he made up for the willingness to try almost anything. Drew was almost the exact opposite of Nate. He was your typical jock stereotype. Hell, if you were to see him wearing his Letterman jacket, you'd swear he was a walking cliché.
Cliches.
He was the largest of us, both in height and physicality. Teachers and students would often question why he debases himself by hanging out with delinquents like us. To which he always replies, "They're my friends."
Sure.
He's not
True.
lying when he says that.
True.
Since we were toddlers, we were all nigh inseparable. Sure, at times we do get him into trouble, but Drew is a super nice, likable guy, and a skilled athlete, so they usually just let him off with a warning.
Yeah.
Last but not least, there's myself. I'm never any good at talking about myself, so I apologize if my descriptions are a little vague. My name is Matt, and I guess you could call me a jack of all trades. I had never been very good at one specific thing, but I like to think I'm pretty decent at a few. Like I mentioned before, we're pretty much delinquents. I'm not proud when I say this, but we've done a lot of stupid things.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I wouldn't consider calling myself a delinquent, but like I said, but me and my friends sometimes get into stupid shit. We get in so much trouble all the time. And back in elementary school, I caused so much trouble there, and I always sometimes lied to my mom saying I did good, but sooner or later she found out that I got in big trouble, and I got disciplined a lot, but now over the years, I have pretty much matured myself. Now I'm 20, I'm almost gonna be 21, so yeah, let's just say I've changed a lot, but Yeah, I gotta be careful not to do stupid stuff because I will be right behind the bars. So, yeah, I gotta be careful.
We've stolen from stores.
Don't do it.
Broken into buildings.
Don't ever do.
Gotten into numerous fights with other kids.
Been there.
Now, I'm not trying to glorify these bad deeds or make it sound like we'd get into trouble every time we hung out. Those incidents all happened over the span of multiple years, and after getting caught shoplifting from a gas station once, we were all labeled as bad kids for life.
Ah, damn.
That, however, all changed during our junior year summer vacation from school. Jake and I were sitting in his living room playing video games when we overheard his mother talking on the phone. She mentioned something about our old elementary school being shut down so they could merge the school into another one. When we heard this, the grin on Jake's face was chilling. Like I said, we had broken into places before, but nothing major.
But nothing
We'd
good.
never break into places with visible security systems in place.
Which is
And
smart.
we'd never break into residential houses. People often owned guns, and it was too great a risk to gamble our lives.
No shit.
However, abandoned places...
Because where I live in like a pretty nice neighborhood and never had to deal with something like that. But it's always has to be, you got to be careful what you have to do because it will get you into some serious trouble. Like, some people just never learned. They just never learned.
in open areas like construction yards were fair game. Anyways, Jake came to us one day and mentioned wanting to go to our old elementary school. I just smirked and shook my head, while Drew berated him for his stupid ideas. Nate, however, was ready and willing to go, as always. Even though Drew and I were both on the fence about going, Jake always seemed to have this way of talking us into doing his bidding. The dude was born with a silver tongue, I swear. So, against our better judgment, the following night we were all on our way to the school.
Never do it, please.
Our old school was filled with fond memories. Most of them were us sitting in the principal's office, but they were still good. During our walk, we reminisced about the old times and how much fun we had.
Yeah.
Before we knew it, we were already at the fence surrounding the school itself. A large sign with a construction company logo was fastened to the outside of the fence. We hopped the fence and crossed.
I remember my times back in my elementary school days. Some were just me causing trouble, well, a lot, because I don't think everyone knew this, but I used to be on pills back in elementary school every day. And it just messed me up a little bit because it caused me to be angry all the time. Ever since my parents took me off, I never had to deal with shit like that. But yeah, there's also numerous times where I've been on plays. One time I even ditched the play because I was stage fright, and I was running around the whole parking lot getting chased. But now here I am. Oh Jesus Christ! Here I am making a video about it. So I do not have stage fright, but let's just say I have some good and bad memories of elementary school. But yeah.
Across the vast field which contained 2 baseball diamonds as well as a playground area. After about 5 minutes of walking, we were all now standing near the back of the school. Drew and I both wondered how we'd get inside. We folded our arms and each gave sly glares to Jake, who stood confidently between us. He just returned a smirk of his own and told us to follow him.
Oh boy.
As we walked, he mentioned that one of our teachers from our youth always had the same room year after year, and she'd always leave one window unlocked because she enjoyed the breeze. I just laughed at how low the probability was that it'd be unlocked, but I quickly stifled my laugh as the window lifted open with ease.
What?
Jake hopped inside first, followed by Nate.
Oh,
Drew
boy.
and I just sighed at each other and climbed in as well.
This is
Standing
very
inside
fucking
one of your
stupid.
old classrooms in the dark certainly is strange.
It is strange.
Although the room had mostly been cleared out, we smiled to each other as we remembered all the time we had spent in this room. We ventured out of the classroom and into the hallway. The strangeness we felt from standing in our old classroom immediately shifted to an air of uneasiness as we entered the darkened corridor.
God, it's so creepy.
Before any of us could comment on the creepy surroundings, Jake piped up and told us to split up.
Don't!
He said Nate and himself would go one way while Drew and I went the other.
Oh, no.
He said to meet us back here in a little while and told us to look for anything interesting.
Oh no.
Drew, looking visibly unnerved at being here, didn't say anything.
It is.
We split up and each made our...
It is. Going into an abandoned school in the dark, it's fucking terrifying. Like, it's so, like, I'm gonna keep saying this in this video. Just don't ever do it, please. It's not, it's just not okay to do it. It's just, no, just don't.
Our way down the hall.
Oh.
How our school was set up was like a large yet simple square, with rooms on both sides.
My school is also a square.
There was a second floor, but that was mostly for the higher grades, as well as the faculty offices.
True.
In the center of this large square was the gymnasium. Drew and I wandered around, occasionally peeking our heads into random rooms. The entire place was cleared out for the most part.
Well, that's what
Some desks and debris had been left, but not much else.
Oh boy.
As Drew and I were leaving one of the rooms, I caught a bit of movement out of the corner of my eye. I looked over and down the hall adjacent to us. There appeared to be a young kid running away.
What the fuck?
You should have seen the look on Drew's face when I told him. It was hilarious. And yet, strangely appropriate.
It is strange.
We walked towards where I had seen the child, and I tried to joke with Drew to keep his mind off things.
Don't joke, please.
As we rounded the corner, however, nobody was there.
What the fuck?
Drew let out a massive sigh, but his breath instantly re-entered his body when we heard a shriek coming from down the hall. It sounded like Nate.
Oh my god, what?
Instantly, Drew and I sprinted down the hallway, our footfalls echoing off the linoleum below our feet. We almost slid into a wall of lockers trying to halt our momentum, but when we finally stopped, we glanced over and saw Nate shaking on the floor. We tracked his gaze and saw what had scared him. There was a little boy standing only a few feet from him.
Oh no.
The boy couldn't have been more than 8 years old. But something was clearly off about this kid. His skin was paper white and had almost translucent hair. His eyes, however, were jet black, like two spheres of onyx placed into his skull.
Oh no. That's terrifying.
I slowly walked over to Nate and helped him stand up. His entire body shook involuntarily as I tried to steady him. I asked him where Jake was, and he said that he didn't know. Before I could question any further, Drew violently tapped me on the shoulder. I looked over and down the hall we just came from. There were two more children.
Oh no.
A little girl and another little boy. They both were clearly different from the one in front of us,
Oh no.
but strangely similar. The unifying feature they all possessed, however, were those empty black eyes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What was most jarring to me was how they were moving. They'd both take a step, then vanish from sight, only to reappear a few feet closer.
What the hell?
I spoke firmly at Nate and asked him once again where Jake was. He said that when he entered one of the rooms, Jake was behind him, and when he came out, Jake was gone.
Oh, what
He turned the
hell?
corner and saw that boy, and then saw us. I called out down the hallway for Jake, but my voice seemed to echo only for a little bit before dying out.
Oh boy.
I told Nate and Drew that we needed to get out of here. They both just gave me a look of betrayal yet understanding.
No shit.
We ran
gotta
past
go.
the singular boy Nate had encountered, and for the briefest of seconds I thought we were going to die.
No shit.
That surprisingly wasn't the case, however, as we sprinted
I
past.
got that feeling too.
As we ran, I continuously called out for Jake, but still no response. Eventually, we arrived outside the room we had entered. When we entered the room to leave the school,
Oh boy.
I saw something in the corner of the room. It was Jake,
Oh my god, he's terrified.
cowering in a ball. I walked over to him and demanded an explanation. He just trembled with a vacant look on his face I pulled him to his feet, and one by one we all climbed out of the school.
Good idea.
I was the last one out of the building, and as I pulled myself through the window, I glanced behind me.
Oh
the
my
entire
God.
classroom was now filled with children, their black eyes watching us all intently, like sharks in the water. It's been a little under a year since that night, and during that time we've all steadily drifted apart.
Oh no.
I tried my best to keep us all friends, but Nate had gotten a girlfriend, which was surprising, and she took up most of his time now. Drew immediately threw himself into sports, focusing more on the team than on us. And finally, Jake.
Oh,
well, Jake just doesn't talk to anyone much anymore.
oh no.
It might sound strange, but I had repressed that night right up until graduation day. Then, as I watched Jake awkwardly walk along the stage and receive his diploma,
So that pretty much ruined
for the
friendship.
faintest of seconds, I could have sworn his eyes were jet black. I glanced over at Nate and Drew sitting a few seats away. Nate was pale white, his hand gripping his girlfriend's tightly, and Drew had sweat dripping from his brow as he stared at the floor.
Oh, man.
To this day, I have no idea what those kids were. Either ghosts or demons or something else entirely.
It could be ghost kids.
I just hope the demolition of that school was enough to make them disappear.
God, please.
But
dude.
just in case it wasn't, and they are still out there, stay away from the children with black eyes before you end up just like my friend Jake. Or worse.
Oh no. Holy crap. Is there something gonna be at the end? Nope. Alright, okay, that was my friends and I broke into school. Okay, I'm gonna say this. That was a good one, but I'm also gonna say this, just in case you guys didn't know in the beginning of the video. Moral of the story, do not break into an abandoned school or any other abandoned buildings. You will get in trouble, you will get hurt, or you will deal something like this. I don't know if that's gonna be real, something like that is real, but the God, that was like terrifying. The black-eyed children, oh my God, that's terrifying. But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna say that's a good one. Check out the players of all the other reactions I did. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you do. Go subscribe to me. Let's get to 500 subscribers. If you want more content, check out the boys' channels, Mel Rhino, Russ Reviews, and Sparks and Olivia. All three channels are in the link in the description. And I'm Ray Mason, signing out. Peace, Dragon.